Tonight's show, we're talking about anger as a gateway. To what? Stay tuned to find out. And I'm answering all your questions with live readings coming up right now.
Does it look like a Devin or David?
David is his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table or not. You saw like there's something in your end table that you this too.
My God, we're crazy.
Yeah.
You might be hard on your right knee when you're running. Make sure you're not too hard on the right knee.
100%.
Okay.
Honey, I'm a runway walker.
I don't know if she's showing me flowers. Like, relay them or redo them. These purple flowers.
Oh my God, Scott, the flowers are right there. My orchids are purple. They completely are dead.
Yeah.
Did you even know? You nailed
100%.
everything, every single thing. Listen, everyone, this guy.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
Who doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Camera's psychic who first questioned Brooke's cancer.
Scott Cruz.
Oh, there you are. You are.
You better question yourself. We're here to bring enlightenment, not confusion.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I say, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here? We've all co-created this matrix. So if you don't like the matrix, that's you saying that you don't like your own reality, what you're creating for yourself. So we're all equal participants of the creation of this matrix. I don't just come on here and talk shit, repeat shit. I'm living it.
In harmony with nature, in a mystical adventure, we're building on a culture.
Happy Thursday Night Live, beautiful souls. Welcome to the Crazyverse. How has your week been? It's been a long time since we saw each other. It's been a whole week. Can you believe that? Coming from the heart. We're in Leo season, so we're going to feel a lot of those little tidbits of the heart coming through. The sensitivities, the anger, the love, all that stuff, which is why I decided to do the topic tonight as anger as a gateway, because a lot of people are afraid to get angry and they don't want to get angry. They don't like anger, but we don't realize it could be a gateway to so much things, so much information, so much blessing, so much change for us. And so we'll get into the topic. And this week I've been feeling myself a little bit more of that passion resurrecting, a little more of that kind of sensitivity kind of unfolding, but in a positive way, because I've been doing the work of clearing out the shit and the mishgas from the past. So I hope you all have been doing the work too, because you should start feeling that collective current coming, picking up and becoming more, I would say, in tune to the heart. And we've been talking about this for a while, about Leo season being all about the heart, clearly this year. So, but we want to get prepared before Virgo season. So when we're coming from the heart, we can actually surgically put everything back in place as we need to, the way we want to, with that great Virgo energy coming up. So it's been a great week. It's been again, a lot more to come. And so, but also for a lot of people this week may have brought a lot of, change within relationships. And I've been seeing a lot of fragmentations of relationships. Even very strong relationships have been having a lot of issues like resurrect, but it's just kind of helping to smooth those relationships out. And so, and also see those relationships that are needing to take a step back and take a break, taking those breaks. And so there's been a lot of tests, and so I would say, this week moving forward, and we'll get into the collective read, don't make any impulsive decisions right now. It's not the time for impulsive decisions. So, but we'll get into it with the collective read first. Let's see who's Chatty Cathy on in the room here. Actually, now I'm streaming to Facebook and Instagram too at the same time. So, it's not going to be the best experience as compared to YouTube experience in the 16:9 format. But I just hopefully we'll see if that works, streaming live to Instagram too. For those of y'all who all found me on Instagram first, that's my home, I would say, the home base of my Instagram lives. But Noah Way, good to see you, my sister from another Mr. David Jennifer Cruz, my mother and father, makers are in the room. Good to see you guys. Brendan Zweck, good evening to you. Horses Trigger Hope, hello, welcome, which is Karma. Darby Mabry, I love it. She says, this is my favorite. Every Thursday night. I love that. Well, you're my favorite too, so we're good to have you. Always glad to see you every week. Stephanie Panaharada, welcome aboard. Good to see you, my love. Carolyn Canton. I love that you guys are very gazy, coming from the heart. Happy to be here as always. All you all coming from the heart. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the heart. I love it. And you guys sharing the heart as well with each other in the chat too, I see. Genevieve123, good to see you. Our wonderful mod Nina is in the room, so if you want to get your questions in, get them in now, because I like to end early without dragging things out. 15 for a card pull, 20 for one question, 30 for two questions, 40 for a live video. The PayPal and Venmo links are in the description below, as you all know. So get them in. And if you want to do a live video, again, those are only through Venmo because that's the only way I can communicate back with you as far as providing a link so you can call in. So yes. So get those in. And Horse Trigger Hope says, damn, love this shirt. Well, thank you. Yeah, it's kind of my Saturn on my chest here. So thank you for that. And we also have here Michaela. Hey, good to see you. Angie Russell. Hello, everyone. So happy to be here. Glad you're here as well. Sydney Aaron, good to see you as well. My sister from another mister. My other sister from another mister. Good to see you. And happy birthday. Everyone say happy birthday to Sydney Aaron today. It's her birthday. She's a fine Leo creature. Say happy birthday. Happy birthday, my love. Hope you're having a swell one. If not during the week, probably this weekend. You know, party hard in the way you party hard. So happy birthday, my love. So that's great to see you. Julie Fox, good to see you. Tommy Garasi, hello, my friend. L.O. Way, I love that. Just sometimes that can say a lot. I feel it. Grace Rainwalker, good to see you. Good to see you as well. I like your hair, by the way. Well, thank you. I like your hair too. From what I see in the picture, so I appreciate the compliments. Alma Ford, good to see you. Josh Shukadet. Okay, I don't know if it's just the text is a small guy. Sorry. Kimber 2023. Good to see you. Iggy, can't you see? Long time, brother. We need to reconnect. Good to see you as well. The real Jen Lanier. Good to see you as well. Christopher 88. And I'll keep going on. All you all who I can't say hi to you because I'm just trying to speed up the process here. Hello, welcome aboard. And those you're watching, I can't see because I can only see you chatting. So good to see you. For those you're new, I do start with a collective read. So we'll get into that collective read right now, where I do utilize tarot and oracle cards. Just I don't need them because I'm a psychic medium, but I use them because it's good for collective purposes to kind of guide me on the current. I already kind of know a theme this week. I heard it in the shower before coming on. It's always in the shower, right? But and then we'll get our topic, which is anger as a gateway, and it'll kind of. I feel like the read and topic will be very blended, and then we'll get right into the live readings. So you guys have time to get them in, but when I start the live readings, we'll close them. That's the new thing. So, all right, let's see what these cards say. Let's shuffle these here. All right, they're a little. These cards feel a little lost. They're like, I don't know what I want to pull. I don't know what should come out. I don't know. So there's obviously indecisiveness going on with y'all, and we'll get into that as well. I'm surprised that card came out. I'll show you in a minute. Yeah, it's a lot of contemplation with you guys. I can sense in the cards. A lot of, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to have contemplation right now. Nor is it not a bad thing to be speculative. That's not bad either. And we'll get into what we can do to be able to understand how to maneuver through that. But being speculative is a good thing, and I'm feeling that with the cards right now. Like I said, no impulsive decisions. But shuffle these oracles and we'll get on in. Okay. Makes a lot of sense, I would say. I know, Michaela says, shower revelations are so... aren't they? I mean, they're super real. I don't know what it is about maybe just being naked in the water and all that stuff, and the sensuality of it. I don't know. All right, give me a couple seconds. Let me tune in and we'll start the collective. Give me a moment. Okay. Sustainability. So, as I was saying before, it's not a good time right now to be impulsive with your decisions. So it is time to be speculative. So we actually avoid the extremes of circumstance, right? Hot, passionate love. I hate you. It's like that, borderline personality book. I hate you, don't leave me, right? When we don't allow ourselves to take a step back, to be objective, to be speculative about what's going on, and we can decide how to navigate, we will feel those extremes if we don't do so. If we don't take the time to do so, now's the time to do so this week. Okay, so this collective read will be for the week ahead. And so when we understand, where we're pivoting and where we sit in our circumstances and where we want to go with our circumstances, we will actually no longer feel those extremes of ups and downs and hot and cold and happy, angry. And, we wouldn't feel those extremes any longer because we're finding the proper balance of where we need to be situated in our lives and the circumstances that we're participating in, right? But even still the extremes, we can understand where we're missing. right? Because we experience the extreme right of things, extreme left of things, and we could then understand, well, what's kind of missing? And usually it's the center heart balance that we're missing, right? Because the subconscious is going to go this direction, that direction. It's going to be very overreactive like a child in a sense, because we're not attending to it. We're not nurturing it. So during this time of speculation, it's time to understand what is being sustainable for yours. What are you sustaining? And what can be sustainable for you? Because, a lot of times we do get comfortable in the uncomfortable position in our lives, and that we do have to say, has what I've been trying to sustain really sustaining? And what I'm trying to sustain, will it continue to sustain in the future? And if you ask yourself those speculative type of questions and you look within to do so, you'll start realizing you might just be kind of stuck in a loop, uncomfortable loop that you're just like, I don't know anything else, so it's all I do, so I just keep repeating it. And so that's kind of the definition of insanity, as we once heard, right? Doing the same thing, expecting a different result, is the definition of insanity. So we have to be very conscious if we are in a loop and we're wanting to go somewhere else, but we're still pacifying that loop. That's the time now, guys, is to come from the heart, because this has been a kind of repetitive message the past 3 weeks, but y'all need to hear this cheerleading type of message today. Coming from the heart means you're just being honest. Hey, I don't fucking like that. Hey, I really want this. It's just being honest with yourself and being real. That's coming from the heart. When you use a street terminology, just be fucking real, yo, right? So that's what coming from the heart is. You're not lying to yourself. You're not lying to anybody else. You're not telling yourself lies about the future. And so, and when we experience those extremes in a dynamic, right, as you can see here with the Oracle card, when we experience those extremes, there can be that hot passion, but then extreme loss right after that. Like I said, intense emotion. We have to understand that we're not navigating in the present. Because extremes is coming from an over-ambitious nature for the future and an overly deprived essence of your past. That's where the extremes come from. And so you're living in both modalities, which creates this very imbalanced, chaotic state of being. And so, and this is why I think it's very important still, when I talk about negative energy or dark energy or these chaotic circumstances, they're moments of realization and revelations for us, which really push us forward further. So we understand in the middle of those extremes, we're like, okay, well, I have this unresolved past I've been trying to pacify and sweeping it under the rug. Let me actually confront it. Let me nurture myself through that. Let me address it and say, look, I deserve better, and move forward. And this way you won't be overly ambitious to a phony, fake future that you're trying to manifest by saying your 150 affirmations because you feel like that's going to somehow makes you feel better because that's going to happen in your future, when it's so off from the heart. You'll then be able to level out. Okay, this is actually where I'm really going. I don't need all that other stuff. I don't need to focus on the material, mundane things anymore, because, that doesn't pacify what the heart needs. The heart just needs to be present with itself. And we hear all the times, be present, be present, be present. And I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? Be present. Many people hear it all the time, but really actually know what being present means. And I just like to say, from my perspective, being present means you're just being honest. You're not trying to sugarcoat anything. You're not trying to sweep anything under the rug. You're not trying to avoid anything. You're like, I'm just being honest with the present, future, and allowing life to be honest to me and accepting of that. That's being present. Acceptance, which is also my definition for love. Love is just complete acceptance of things, understanding why things are the way they are and being objective and unaffected this way. That's love. And so the same business of being in love and also letting go and understanding how we can really kind of navigate through that state of flow that we're talking about. We always talk about this flow as well. What's this flow? And we're saying in that complete present, complete acceptance of the now, complete state of love, and allowing that momentum to build and to increase, because that will broaden our perspective on life. And you will no longer be very, two-dimensional, like extreme left, extreme right. Or you wouldn't be just self-centered where you're all focused on your own selfish needs. You'll broaden the scope of your perspective to see the extreme of the left, and then you understand the spectrum of reality. And you allow yourself to dive into the spectrum of reality based on where your heart is vibrating. And when your heart is vibrating in a certain frequency, as we hear all the time in metaphysics and quantum physics, and we use these terms all the time, but if your heart is vibrating at a certain frequency, it knows where to go. It knows how to maneuver through physical reality. It knows how to maneuver around the bullshit. It knows how to maneuver toward the things that you say that you love. And that all comes from being present, acceptance in the now. balance centered with the heart. I love when when people say, oh, you're so self-centered. Like they call people self-centered. She's so self-centered. And it's like, isn't being centered with yourself a positive thing? And it's usually people who are really selfish that hate people who are really centered with themselves because they're not providing anything for them, or they're doing things that they wish they can do. And we've all experienced that positioning where we just get so pissed off about someone being so happy. We've all been there. That's only because we understand we're depriving ourselves of the same thing that they can have, because it is that easy. So we have to let it be easy for ourselves too. We make it so difficult because one, we judge ourselves because, oh, I can't say this. I'm gonna have to be positive. Like I always say all the time, this toxic positivity shit. And also like, I can't be angry. I can't feel that emotion. We resist the natural essence of life and experience that we can put ourselves in the box, and that's what actually creates the anger. That creates frustration. And so we're going to go right into the topic now. Anger is a gateway. Because when you have that frustration and you're limiting yourself, you put yourself in that box, your soul is feeling suffocated. It's like, I can't breathe. Get me out of here. And we silence the voice of the soul. That's another thing that manifests anxiety. That will produce anxiety. Anxiety always manifests from suppressing of the soul, suppressing of the heart. It's contained too much. And so therefore it's trying to get us, so there's this anxiety, this tension, this anger, this rage, because of suppression. So anger could be utilized in a sense to really be the blueprint to all the things that you haven't nurtured in your life. Can be the blueprint of all the things that you've deprived yourself of. It can be the blueprint to all the things that have been dictating your happiness all along versus yourself. Oh, that ghoster has been in my mind for the past year and I can't get over it, and I can't move on from that relationship because people just ghost, and all people are cheaters, and then we just cycle in that limitation. And then we get anxiety because then we're like, oh, now I put on a psychic cord attached to that person so I can feel their vibration. So now I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm constantly feeling the energy of being deprived and being, dismissed and neglected. So that cycles on, anxiety. And then the anger comes in, it's like, I don't deserve this. I deserve better. And then that buildup of emotion. Because all that energy, all that anger is telling you that you need to do better for yourself and focus on yourself. You don't deserve to be neglected. You don't deserve to be mistreated. You don't deserve to be ignored. You don't deserve the disrespect. Stop tuning into it. The more you tune into it, the more you will silence your soul, which that will cause anxiety, not hear yourself, and you'll get angry about it. But you see, a lot of times what we do is we always think, what did I do wrong? And I always tell people, stop focusing on what you did wrong and focus on what you can do better. Big difference. Because we're all in the school of life here. Ain't none of us got it right completely. Otherwise, we wouldn't be incarnated here still. And physical reality, 3D world, is a very dense reality. It's one of the most challenging realities out there. The one that thrives on emotion. Higher dimensional beings don't deal with emotion. We're the only species here in this 3D reality that deals with emotion the way we do. So now it's time to really tune into that emotion. Now it's time to tune into the frequency of why we are sustaining certain emotions that we are and why aren't we? And letting the anger be the blueprint of where we're being deprived. And because anger can turn into a zeal and a passion. I always say anger is a suppression of passion. When you suppress the passion, the heart, when you suppress the passion, the soul, you suppress all that, you're going to be angry, frustrated, anxious all the time, no direction. So we can use that energy to fuel and look within and be honest and truthful with our current circumstances, how we feel and how we've been participating, so we can choose better. Again, it's not what we did wrong, it's about what we can do better for ourselves. Each step is a lesson and a learning curve to understanding what we can do better. Like I said before, we're all still children on a bike, learning how to ride that bike. And when we were that child riding that bike, do we curse ourselves and damn ourselves simply because we fell off? Do we even look back at the time we were kids riding a bike and say, oh my God, I was so stupid, I fell off the bike? We don't do that because we understand we didn't know how to ride that machine and we didn't understand how to do that. So we learned it. So same thing here. There's a lot of things you guys are learning still that you haven't learned. It's love, it's self-love, love, it's appreciation, love, it's self-validation. A lot of it's communication. Some of you guys have to learn about how to be loving and giving. Some of you guys have to learn how to be more receiving. So you're learning that. Don't beat yourself up because you're learning it. Just understand the process. It's always about doing better. And then you can be more centered, focused, more honest, more accepting, more present, and in love. That's how you do it. And so Anger, I would say, if you think of the emotional scale here, the lowest is, basically depression, worthlessness, and that, gravitates up to like, depression, worry, fear, and then it goes into like, higher up into anger, and then from anger it's like hopeful, then happy and joy. So there's a range of this. I was trying to process in my mind the specifics of it on the psychological and emotional scale, but understand there is a scale or a spectrum, however you want to see it. So in that scale, anger is just right before hope, right underneath hope. So anger is actually use that fuel to say like there can be better. Anger means that you deserve better. Otherwise you wouldn't be angry. If you believe the shit that you've experienced, or believe the shit that you've been telling yourself in the negative sense, or what people have been telling you, if you really believed in it, you'd be like, yeah, you'd be indifferent to the emotion. You'd be indifferent to the feeling. Like, I'm a piece of shit. And okay. But when people tell you things, you feel hurt by it. The pain is telling you don't agree. I've always said pain means no, right? So I'm wrapping that into this message. And the anger essence of that means that you definitely are conscious and aware that you don't agree. And a lot of times that frustration and anger comes from because you don't know what to do next. We're saying, again, just think about how you can make it better and that you're evolving from the circumstance. It's very simple in that regard. And a lot of the cards here is a self-reflection. I'll just kind of go through the cards about, being very introspective, right? But understanding everything in your reality, the things your emotions are reflecting what's going on internally. Duh, right? Your emotions. But how you're reacting to things is reflective of what's going on internally too. And I love the sovereignties and all the confirmation here. The sovereignty card is about, again, understanding your own personal spiritual sovereignty first, but moving ahead, kind of like the do's and don'ts for the week ahead. The Four of Wands reversing. This is what I was saying before for me, because this is my committal card, my real estate card, my new home card. So when this comes up, this is reading for me psychically in this sense about don't make any impulsive decisions, like I was saying before in the reverse position. Don't make any impulsive decisions. Just to make a decision, reflect, like we said before, not to be redundant, but just kind of confirming what the cards are saying. And the Four of Wands in reverse that's what will create renewed activity for you. That's what create the insight of, the jump, the passion, the motivation. And so the Fool card in that position is called like new beginnings. That's when new beginnings transpire. Just taking the moment for self, right? How simple is that? Nothing overly complicated, nothing overly philosophical here. Right? And then the Two of Cups is partnership, but that's me in this read saying that's where things come together. That's where people unite. That's where ideas unite. That's where careers unite. That's where everything unites in that state. And that's ahead. For those of you who are doing the work, that's ahead. And of course, we all know the World card is a cycle of completion, but also to me, in this sense, the World card is almost like your energetic sphere has expanded to the world in a sense that you're able to feel the vibrations of the collective, how you can participate in the collective and be more of I would say, a voice for your soul purpose, not your intellectual unresolved residue from the past. Okay, so this is this time now. These are, I've been saying for a while with 2025 and the segments of 2025. It's a very powerful year. This could be a year where a lot of you guys will transport and teleport, or well, not teleport, but catapult yourselves into big change, huge new paradigms. And so now's the time to do so. And that's what's exciting about this time is that fact. So don't miss the boat on the astrological currents that we have, the collective currents you have. Don't miss the boat on your opportunity of making this change, because when the door closes, then we go through another cycle of realization. And if you're stuck in the past unresolved, that will continue in the next cycle of realization. So that's why a lot of people say, I'm so sick of going through this. I'm so sick of experiencing it. Well, you're stuck in a loop, like we said in the very beginning. So rewatch from the very beginning to understand how to get out of that loop. Okay. So anger could be that gateway. Anger could be that guidance, that the actual loud voice within us that guides us in the right direction, and also guides us of how to remove the limitations, barriers, blockages, all the things we talk about that deprive ourselves. It will be the voice and the power to really remove it, and the power to move it forward too. So a lot of people I see in the spiritual communities, and I always talk about the spiritual communities, even though I'm spiritual and I'm always demystifying mysticism, is that, so many people are like, I can't feel that though. I can't feel anger. It's a negative energy. Well, don't you know dismissing is also negative energy too? Because negative energy means to disconnect, to separate. So if you're like dismissing something and you're disconnected. That's a negative energy. So to dismiss something is negative energy. So I think we get so hung up over negative, positive that like it's like means good or bad. It doesn't. Sometimes you need negative energy in your life to disconnect from an abusive relationship or to disconnect from a horrible job. You need a negative energy to make that happen for yourself. Being positive all the time just means that you're accepting everything and anything for you, even if it's in contempt for you. You'll still keep going, and we need a balance of the yin and the yang. Right? We need the balance of what is actually serving my evolution and growth. That's when we use negative and positive energy to our liking, and we won't be so judgmental about it. So if there's an anger emotion, feel it, dissect it. What are you fucking pissed off about? What are you pissed off about? And if it's about observing how other people are, maybe you need to be a different person to outshine those people. Maybe you got to stop appeasing those people. Maybe just, stand up for yourself for once and for all. Maybe you just need to avoid and get yourself into a different environment of people, right? Let the anger guide and feel it. And the more you suppress that anger, that's when people go batshit crazy. When they suppress that anger for so long, it gets greater and greater. I'm like, don't do that to yourselves, right? It's a calling, and understand the anger means that you're almost out of a very depressing, depriving, mind-numbing, soul-numbing state. The anger means you're evolving. And that just means it's getting louder, what you need and what you deserve. Attend to it. Don't dismiss it. All right? So a very simple message. I didn't go on too long tonight with the message, which I don't feel like going on that long. I think it's pretty straightforward. No need to be overly philosophical about it. But before we get into these live readings, get the questions in now, guys, because if they're not in, I will shut it down and we'll see you next week. But before we get into live readings, here is a wonderful, wonderful message from Nina, real quick.
What is up, Thursday crew? It is me, Nina. I got a channel message for you, tapped in fresh. When I was tapping in, I kept seeing this energy of smoke and of frustration, of all these kinds of what seem like lower vibrational emotion being channeled into something greater, like being felt through and moved through. And I heard art or whatever mode of creativity you've got going on, kind of really using that energy, that kind of smoke as fuel for transformation. I just kept hearing transformations near, and I kept seeing this imagery of like sacred geometry or crystals. A lot of like obsidian energy came through, a lot of smoky quartz, and it's kind of that like pressure for transformation, kind of like that diamond energy as well. And it's like the message that came through from Spirit is don't forget the way obsidian is made. It's made under a lot of pressure, but it turns out something very beautiful and protective and creative and almost like that blood kind of black essence energy. So don't forget your essence energy and know that you can transform this kind of denser vibration or this denser energy into something that you can use as your fuel and as something you can use for your creativity. Exactly. And, wonderful things are formed under pressure. I love that so much. And spot on, Nina, with that, of course, in sync with the collective reads and the topic. So that's me high-fiving you. Wonderful reminder about, things being formed under pressure. You need to understand the pressure is a good thing. It's redirection and it's a little bit of density. When we stop defining it as painful or and all this, then we actually understand what it's there for, and we work with it, and we grow, we form, we recalibrate. It's amazing. And a lot of people have nags in their lives too. A lot of guys have like a nagging person that's nagging you. Understand that could be a part of your own soul nagging yourself about something too. Just check in with that. Of course, there are also people out there just nagging that you need to get rid of because you're pacifying other people's energy. Yeah. But if there's someone just nagging you and they love you, maybe that's your own soul trying to nag you as well, to put the pressure on in the external world to get things going. Being honest, being real, and say, what else you got to lose? I mean, honestly, the simple thing about when lights are out and this life is done, are you going to be worried about the things you're worrying about now? Or are you going to be worrying about and looking back, the fact is, God, I didn't do it. I suppressed myself. I deprived myself of life experience because of somebody else's opinion and what they thought about me or didn't think about me. Like, really? Did I really do that? Let me reincarnate to learn it again and to fulfill it. So, so think about that. I was going to close. So think about that. All right, we're getting to the live readings now. First up is Stephanie Panharala. Nails. Oh, wait, no, sorry. I typed in Stephanie Panahara and then I look at your transactions and the transaction nails and I read the question. Okay, just high love and thank you. 1, did my final cleansing from the new listing home work? I did an hour this AM with the white candle and walked around the home. Let me see. You got that area. You're like, I would say if what you used was bleach in the spiritual world, you bleached that area, that corner area upstairs, the second story place up there, you bleached it well. So I'm saying bleach as far as with the spiritual cleansing of it. So yeah, I think you did. You did a good job on that. One more suggestion before we're putting on, like, it needs to, like, have all the doors and windows open one day. So maybe on a good day, just have all the doors and windows open too. And so things could also clear out. Because I feel like somehow energy has drifted downstairs a little bit and it's just stale energy. So you just open doors, clear things out, breathe that energy of life into it. And I think that'll clear up the space a lot better. Because again, people leave, this sounds crazy to people who be skeptical of this realm, but that's just them to understand. But energy can't be created or destroyed. And so we do leave residual imprints in our surroundings, and many people leave shit behind. And sometimes it takes as much as being very symbolic with our own energy, because we can push energy, move the energy very, very well. We're very powerful this way. Just pushing it out of the home. Open the windows, open the doors, just let it just breathe for a moment. You know what I mean? So, but I think if you did that last step like that, Stephanie, I think that would push it all out now. Any type of residue or static energy, feels heavy. Perfect. Awesome. So maybe they're just confirming that then. So if you did that, good. Fantastic. The second question you say is, still, you see one of my clients going under contract for sale before the end of August. Yes. Yeah, but remember, psychic timing could be like end of August, early September. Like, just understand there's a bracket there, right? And this is a good question too, because a lot of people who get reads done understand, and I try to be good about this. I'll be like, between August, September, like I say that by the end of August, sometimes it could be early September. So understand there's a lot of wiggle room with psychic timing, because we have free will. We can also be changing our preferences and extending the time frame, right? So, but yeah, like I'm circling late August, early September. I'm circling like around that area still, Let's hope the deal is with you and not somebody else. But yeah, I feel that they're making a deal. But yes. And we're actually mid-August already. I can't believe that, right? Yeah, wiggle room is crazy, and I have to be good to know that, because sometimes I've seen specific dates for people, like, oh, August 21st or in mid-May, like it's not. And then sometimes just like, yeah, by the certain time, and it's a bracket. So I have to be very clear with that. Unfortunately, a lot of psychics are not. A lot of them are not very versed in understanding that. They don't go that deep and really scanning a trajectory. It's like, I feel this, and then actually observing the trajectory. And the trajectory of those, so that's why there's a lot of people go to readers and not happy, because they know about me, but they didn't know about the future. It's like, because they're not really reading what's really there. They're just picking up on one thing, or picking up what you want, not what's there. So there's a lot of discrepancies on that. Yeah, let's hope let's hope I can keep my track record, right? So good. Yeah, you always nail my dates with me. Yeah, let's just hope the track record, but understand around there, because 2025 has been a fucking crazy year, and people are realizing things and making change, and it's wonderful, but it could have some more wiggle room. Okay, Kathleen, card pull for Kate, right? Am I reading this right? Yeah, okay. I'm getting a little headachy too before this live, so I'm gonna have to take oil of oregano. If you take oil of oregano, put it in some water. Oh my god, it like clears out any type of like throat thing. Okay, this is for Kate. Okay, that's interesting. Good to know. Good to see that. Let's see another one. I mean, it's card pull. I should just pull one. Anyways, that's why I call it card pull. Okay. There's two things. I'm going to be very quick on this. Card pulls are meant to be very simple, quick, one card message. Sometimes I pull more than one, but it's supposed to be simple. That's what, and then the questions, we get more specific in that. But the Eight of Wands it's about success and quick movement. Now, when I read this for you, it really comes about, it feels like there is a new business opportunity or a business direction that would be going in your favor. So if you're starting a new business, or maybe there's a new job around the corner, some new idea is around the kernel that would actually be very, very successful and quick moving of this as well. The Lover's card in reverse also is, to me, like, it was random how that came up, because I read the Eight of Wands as far as with career movement, not movement in anything else, more work or idea in that sense that turns making money or a profit. But the Lover's card in reverse is saying to me there's something about maybe a past relationship that needs to clear out. Okay, or past energy, or past relationship, or the ideas. Sometimes we hold on to circumstantial things of past relationships, not so much a past relationship. So I feel like there needs to be a recalibration about love and relationships in your life, right? And the only reason why I would say this is coming in with the Eight of Wands and this career opportunity, this new opportunity or new job, whatever the case is that I see transpiring or shift in that sense. I feel like you have to get your relationships in order to build new relationships in other aspects of your life too, right? So like a clearance of past relationships, maybe just a reflection on that too. So, but it seems like there's a lot of change surrounding all the above in that sense too. So, which is good. Card pull for Angie. I'm trying hard not to make important decisions at the moment. Well, Angie, you should be making important decisions. Don't make impulsive decisions. Hopefully you made the right word. We should be making important decisions now, Angie, but just don't make impulsive ones, right? Meaning that you're doing it without thinking. You're doing it because of fear or, so. Let's see. Okay, shuffling card for Angie R. James, he's watching from the beginning at 1.5 times. Don't I talk fast enough? I mean, I don't know how people can listen to me at quick speed. Because I feel like I talk fast enough when I'm like passionate. That's something I'm trying to work on. But first card, Angie, is Hermit card. So this is really about introspective work. I feel if I want to go deeper in that, more specific, stop trying to listen to others' opinions about the decisions that you have to make. So I feel like you're not navigating your own feeling on things with the decisions that you have to make. It's more about how you feel like other people's perspectives are on it. It's okay to mind other people's perspectives, or it's okay to also consider, but you want to be the one that chooses. So I feel like this Hermit card is saying you have to make the own decisions for yourself and make sure you're really listening for that and looking for that and knowing what that means. Not just saying, oh yeah, making decisions for myself. No. But taking the time to say, am I actually like hearing and feeling and considering what I'm feeling? And so go there. Go there right now, they're saying. So, and the Sun card is saying that like you will make the right decisions. They're saying that things will move forward, and Two of Pentacles is all about balance and finding that balance. It's just, I don't know, they're just saying that you appease others too much. And probably maybe because you appease others too much, that you maybe overly consider people's perspectives too much too, and that might interfere. So it's kind of an emotional read here for you on that one. And so, but it's really about finding that balance now for you. And that's where, again, the happiness, joy, the sun is. So maybe that's a struggle of yours, of just really trying to find that leverage of self, and so understand your decisions need to be made by you, and consider whatever resonates to you, not, just because someone said something. But so yeah, the Sun card is general happiness, but that's also the light becomes very clear about where you need to go, right? The light becomes clear of your direction, all that wonderful stuff too. So yeah. Understand it's an emotional time for you, Angie, not so much like a to-do list mode for you right now. But then it will be when you do. So the results are good. So the good thing is that I am seeing that you are making that progress. That's a good thing. Okay, Mrs. Sydney Aaron. How you doing, Sydney? Happy birthday, my love. My sweets. You didn't, I will pull more than one card for you because it's your birthday. Right? Okay. All right. Okay. We're shuffling for Mrs. Sydney Aaron. Okay. The moon card. I love the green screen screws up. These are very like these cards. You can't tell because the green screen is taking out the green, but they're like kind of reflective and holographic looking. So I could pop the green screen off, but the moon card, Sydney, is really all about your unresolved energy subconsciously, because the Two of Swords is all about you need to pick a lane, and it's almost like I feel like you're not allowing yourself to still let go on the past. You're not letting go of the deceit, right? And I don't know why you're still cycling this, but you have to ask yourself and put it into perspective of yourself, into a position saying, I'm either going to choose to keep dwelling on it or I'm going to choose to move on from it. Like, there needs to be that type of processing and decision you're going to make. I'm either going to ponder the ex, I'm either going to ponder the shit relationship and the fact I still got to deal with them, and ponder that he's still a shitty person, or I'm going to just accept the fact he is a shitty person, was a shitty person, will continue to be a shitty person, and that has no bearing on where I'm going forward. And so this is definitely the Two of Wands, like piss or get off the pot, right? Energy. So, but it's time for this because, it's your birthday, right? So it's your birthday, right? Everybody had a birthday song to play and an audience cheering. But, you should say to yourself, the birthday is like a new cycle for you. It's a new cycle for you. And so that new cycle means is that, how do you want to continue? How do you want to continue? Because I also feel like you need to focus on, more nutritional health. Not that there's anything wrong. Not that there's anything wrong. I just feel like you need to be focused more on like what you're eating, what you're consuming. It's like putting the energy back into the body. I feel like there's been a deterrence from this a little bit from you. Put the energy back into there. Put that nurturing back into the physicality of yourself, so it can help you to release that side of the rope. It's like we're saying that side of the tug of war, but that side of the rope, and grab on with two hands forward. So it's very important now this time, Sydney, because there's a lot of goodness coming out of this. I see you connect with a new community of people. Right? New community people coming in, new community people that are, kind of in the same essence as you, right? And that building with, more productivity, more working with creative aspects, and more working with people who are, also participating the same way you are, which overshadows the past in that sense. So, another emotional read here with the card pull, but I went a little longer because, it's your birthday and I want to treat you, but, it's funny, King of Pentacles comes up. It's about practicality. And I think that you need to start thinking about being more practical about things too. Right? And that'll help guide you. And I feel like by, November, December, I feel like this all clicks in for you. November, December. Something about the holidays too, I think, is going to really say to yourself that you want something different, in that sense. So there's an emotional shift here. Clearly this is emotional. This is not like, oh, this is coming here. This is coming. This is new coming. It's none of that. You've been very introspective, but you need to understand with your introspection that there's this is a time you have to pick a lane, right? And so I know you will, because obviously there's a lot of that. Like I said, by November, December, you will. And that's going to open up that new community, that new tribe. And you'll participate in more creative expressions, I would say. And I'm just going to leave it there vaguely because I don't want to be influencing of your creative process. But yeah, so it's good in the hood. But here's another thing to put a bow on this. The fact that that's coming up means that you're embarking and about to fully disconnect from it. Right? When I say disconnect, you're not feeding it, fueling it anymore. You're not trying to cord cut. And that's one thing I talked about. I made a video about cord cutting. It was actually a snippet from my last live show about cord cutting. And that people try to cut the cord, and it's like, oh, but they're energy vampires. And someone's like, but cord cutting is misunderstood. It's misunderstood, Scott. It's not trying to remove your past. Just you're cutting the cords for people who are being energetic vampires. And I'm like, you would still have to put yourself in the position to be leached on by an energetic vampire. Why are you still entertaining it? Why are you still responsible for people's energy to where you'd be available for someone to drain your energy? Someone can't just pull energy if it's not given. If you close the port, then of course you understand psychologically why the port needs to be closed. You work on the psychological unresolved to close channels to stop feeding the psychic connection, but you understand the past experiences that you had because they've helped you to grow. So when we say disconnect, we're not feeding it anymore. We're not like latching onto that psychic connection to where like, I'm feeding their energy. They're feeling my energy. I'm giving information back and forth. You're cutting that cord. You're breaking that down. But with the cord cutting, and she says it's misunderstood. And I said, no, it's misrepresented. Life is a lot more dynamical than, just cut the cord for people who are energetic vampires. That doesn't work like that. Why are you open to it in the first place? And a lot of people are open that way because of guilt. They overaccommodate other people too much, or they seek validation through other people, so they have those connections going. But cord cutting isn't the end all be all. That even if you did that and you have the psychological unresolved, you don't work on that, that cord will fall, that psychic connection will form unconsciously again. So that's why many people say, I'd cut the cord, but nothing works. Because it refilled because you didn't resolve the subconscious unresolved that's associated to that experience. So therefore it's going to connect back to the last person you had that unresolved with as a reminder that you have that karma to clear. So yeah, we have to understand we disconnect for something, we're not feeding it, but we also have to resolve the psychological aspects and extract a lesson from it so we can evolve from it and not keep repeating the same patterns or living with the elephant in the room our whole life and just in trepidation. Let's be clear here. So no, cord cutting is not misunderstood, it's misrepresented, and it's not explaining the full process of how we heal. It's just a hocus pocus bullshit for people to think like, okay, someone else cut the cord, I'm good, I'm clear. No, you're not. Then how can somebody else do the job of what you need to do? That's just this bunch of bullshit, this woo-woo crap that's like, it's just gone way too fucking far, and people are relying on this garbage, and then they come back wondering like, why didn't it work for me? And then they abandon spirituality altogether because these people misrepresent what these ideologies or what these things really mean. What these ideas really mean, what these philosophies really mean. Some people know how to take a metaphor and beat the crap out of a metaphor or an analogy and turning it into something real. Don't get me started with the Bible. How people interpret the Bible. Anyways, moving on. Card pull for Holly. Holly P. Oh, Holly's got some good cards here. Again, I'm going to remind everybody that the card pulls are meant to be simple. If you want more specific laid out information, I've been doing it for those who see me all the time. I go longer for them because they're loyal. But those who are new, it's just understand it's supposed to be quick, and so we can move along. It's not going to be a full read. Also, my prices are so cheap on here. But I like to give people an opportunity if they can't afford a full one-on-one session. They have an option here. But for Holly, the Six of Wands and the Three of Cups, really good energy. So the Six of Wands for you is all about it's victory on a matter. So for me, it feels like there's going to be a lot of success in your work environment. Recognition, and the Three of Cups is a celebration. So I feel like probably within the next 3 to 4 months, there will be some recognition for you, some sort of celebratory event in your name or something that's like an accomplishment in a sense. So there's something very positive in that direction when it comes to your career environment, so to speak, right? And so, and as I read that cycle, it's all showing me about recognition. Maybe you get that position if it's a position, or you find a way to express what you're doing in a wonderful way that gets that recognition. So, and a celebratory event too. So, I feel there's other things that you'll be celebrating too, and not the holidays, but something, an anniversary or something. I feel like a celebratory with family too. So it feels like you just enjoy the ride when it comes to this celebratory energy and this energy of recognition. Okay. So that's pretty cool, Holly. So I feel like you're like completing something. It feels like a completion of something too. And you'll understand what that happens as it unfolds. Right. So, I'm the one reading the future, so of course many people who are not understanding their future will be like, what? But that's the direction that is heading for you. Okay, next is a question from Genevieve. Thank you. Can you tell me what you see about my job I recently applied for? What specifically? Because the question is, am I going to get it or not? I have to see if they actually made a decision. So, and this is a perfect question for me to segue into education about psychic predictions. So when people ask a question, if they got a job or they passed a test, understand there is something called randomness in reality. Otherwise, I'd be predicting lottery numbers. There's no such thing as randomness, right? So there is randomness, and not every step that we made is written in the stars. So in cases like that, I have to read the current energy of, say, whether or not did they read the application, did they approve the application, or if they're in the middle of the application. So that's what I have to read, because there's no specific prediction on a yes or a no on this. I don't necessarily feel the position is a one to be completely satisfied on, but right now it's reading like a probability of 60% that you'll get the position. I feel like they're aware of your application, but I also feel like they're weighing in on another applicant at the moment. So, but you're still higher in odd percentages of it getting there, of you getting the job. But I also like, now if I read the trajectory of you getting the job, it feels like the job would be kind of not all as anticipated. You'd be like, yeah, it's all right. You know, it's okay. It's like a job. I'm making the money. It's fine. I'm doing my work, but the environment might feel a little stale in a sense, you know. But if you did decide to take it, I would feel like it would be a very temporary position, about a year or two, and you'll evolve out of that as well, you know. And so I really feel that. You know, that again, there's another opportunity that would possibly unfold from this as well. So I wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket on this one. It's not a bad decision to take if you've taken it. If they choose to do so, I do feel like they're waving between another person as well. But I also feel like there's also another opportunity as well that might be more of a match as well. Either way. So it's nothing really bad here, but I can only read, I can't say for certain that you got it or didn't get it. So I can only say it's about 70% that it's in your favor, but I can't tell how they're going to choose between you and this other applicant. They're weighing on two. That's the current energy of it. All right. Okay. And maybe that's probably why Genevieve asked the question that way. She probably knows, like, she can't ask whether she got it or not. She probably understands. So maybe, Genevieve, you understood how to question, so it's great. But that's kind of the energy that it reads as a current state for me. Now, if they already decide we're going with you, and I would be like, oh yeah, they decided they're going with you. You're in, you know? So, okay, there's some names I'm seeing here I haven't seen in a long time. Actually, I'm talking about like clients, old clients from like back in like housewife days. Holly Peterson, yes, you had a reading back in 2012. Yes, I'm like this name. I haven't seen this name in a long time. How's it going, Holly? Good to see you, my gorgeous. Also, Allison Riley here. I haven't seen Allison as one of the clients before I even started doing social media. You guys are finding me. That's wonderful. I just started the social media thing about 2 years ago, about like really going on it. So it's good to see your names. I mean, Allison, you go way back too, right? How far do you go back? I think Allison goes way back. Kristen Villarreal, good to see you as well. All right, card pull for Allison. Wow, there's a new endeavor with you, Allison. Something's about to explode with Allison. Oh gosh, Allison. There she is. There you are. There's going to be some, like the last question I answered, there's going to be like this new opportunity for you. And I don't know why I keep getting fitness, health, something that nature, you know, and maybe it's something within yourself, but then I feel like somehow you want to get involved with that with other people and get involved with people who are also helping them healthier or something like this nature. It's like a new opportunity or idea, you know. And I feel like I'm feeling this because I feel like I want to push you when it comes to you. And I don't know why I get this health, fitness, or making people healthy, and that whole ordeal comes to me. I don't feel like you know about this yet. I feel like you will. So my advice is be open to something out of the blue or something left field that presents itself to you. You know, and it might even be that you also decide to get very healthy and very, you know, fit, and decide you learn so much about doing so that you really want to express it with others, you know. So yeah. And the Four of Swords in reverse feels very getting out of your shell energy too. So that means, you know, I like to say community. I'm trying to look more specifically, but I feel like, just because it's a card pull, and I haven't talked to you in a while, I'm going a little more than I would on a card pull, but a lot less than I do in a reading. I really feel like you will be getting out, meeting new people, new groups of people, and perhaps this fitness health is an investment that you make or with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, be open to this. I feel by April of next year, this will be very clear of what I'm saying. April of next year. Spring of next year feels like, oh yeah, like it's like, I mean, not to be kind of on the nose about it, but like it's these new ideas blossoming. It's starting to like unfold. You understand the new direction. So pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And spirit sometimes will only show me so much because they don't want me to spoil certain things or to get your mind in a way that will sabotage it. So that's why they sometimes will hold back on certain information about it. But yeah. I also feel too, there might be a move some point next year as well. You might be contemplating a move. This fitness thing, I don't even fucking know if that even goes with this property or whatever. I'm going far, but yes. It might be new property, move, and somehow that connects, but a lot of great change. And I have to say on a spiritual level that I think your guides are saying you've made a lot of great change this year. And last year too. So I don't know if there was a lot of loss or disconnection between 2024 and 2025. They're saying you made a lot of great change from then. And so that's almost like this new chapter opens for you that you've almost like you did a good job of sorting out the past bullshit, so to speak. So it's good stuff. Heidi, I like the energy there. Or Allison, excuse me. I'm like Heidi Ho was about to say. Like Heidi Ho, but Allison, I love the energy there. On that. And those who watch me for some time know I just tell what it is. I'm not trying to make anyone feel good. So I'm not trying to make. I like for people to feel good, but I have to deliver the information, not information that makes you feel good. So if it's that way, that positive, is because I'm reading it that way. I'm excited about it. All right, card pull. I think this is right. Am I reading this correctly? Card pull for Brandy A. I won't say the last name. Okay. Cindy, you're so funny. I love you. Okay, Brandy. All right. I want you to change that, Allison, not from I've been trying, saying to you've been doing it. I've been doing it. Say that. Say that, because that's a more of an accurate assessment of what you've been and how you've been expressing it. You've actually been doing it, not trying. And not that I want to be one of those that says don't say the word trying. I used to be that person. I used to tell my clients, don't say try. It's like, well, understand like what are you really trying? Because a lot of times people say they're trying, but they're actually really doing it. And there's a process of mastery. And so you might still be in the process of mastery, so you're still mastering it, right? So it's not a bad thing. So you still have been doing, you've been mastering it. It being whatever the circumstance of emotion that's caused that, emotional upheaval. You're mastering that. And so, yes. Good. See how easy that was? Good. Awesome. Fantastic. Okay. Card pull for Brandy. All right. Let's see. You guys are getting a lot of great cards. A lot of similar cards are just coming out right now here. It's funny. I have to reshuffle because I'm gonna have to pull it, because if I keep shuffling it, then the same cards. I can't make this up here. I'm like, all right, the same cards from the last person, same cards from the last person. But so I reshuffle, and it just keeps happening. So I'll just be. All right, well, Brandy, whatever you're doing is going to be a successful road, because we got the Six of Wands again. I can't make this up. So I feel like you're actually heading in the direction of making the right decisions. I'm going to kind of clarify the cards a little bit more, because this can be very vague. I feel like this is you making the right creative decisions in your life, making the decisions that really format your creativity, your creative expression. And I think those decisions that you'll be making or are making or deciding to make, Eight of Wands, quick success. Quick movement, things moving forward in that direction. It's weird because that's exactly what we got in the last quadrant, but it was the other way around. But And the Empress is all about the woman who is a nurturer, right? And putting that nurturing into some sort of creative expression, you know. So yeah, whatever creative expression they're talking about, being creative is, and the ways you're making those decisions is pushing it forward. So your spirit wants to say, keep pushing that forward, you know, and understand that nurturing abilities and moving in the right direction, and don't second question it, because they're saying that you're heading in that right direction. Simple, but sometimes you just need a validation and confirmation, right? And yeah, so you like the last person's reading anyway, that would make sense because it was the same cards for you. So probably in a similar energetic parallel in that sense. You know, but understand when I say the word creativity, doesn't just mean art. It also means how you're deciding to make decisions, how you're deciding to maneuver and express certain modalities in your life. That's the creativity we're talking about. And so you might have these out of the box ideas that if you actually just embrace and validate them, boom, yes. Yes, person. Yeah, it resonates with where I'm at with work and personal. Awesome. So trust yourself. Because again, the Empress card, you know, is the nurturer, is the one that possesses knowledge and information of how to nurture, how to make things happen the way they should happen, and very, very in tune to that divine feminine energy, actually being intuitive. So perhaps you also need to really, you know, channel the divine feminine within you and understand that your nurturing ability is very intuitive, and embracing that, Brandy. Okay. Good stuff there. I love that. I love hearing the good stuff, you know, and it's all been good. Even Sydney, yours is good too, because I'm like, you're actually about to make that leap of, you know, the Two of Swords and push. So, I mean, it's all positive for you guys, which is good. Okay, next we have a question for Rebecca Swen. I'll just keep it short, okay? Any tips for my upcoming book release and marketing? Thank you. Okay, let me see. Very specific, thank you. There's a male energy, I feel like, that has his hands on things that should not have his hands on things. It doesn't feel like someone who has massive control. Could be someone who has influence that just messes things up. I feel like everything logistically with the book and how it's presented feels clean. I feel like you need to be careful about who is around you assisting you. And there's specifically a male energy around that I feel like it just messes things up, or will mess things up, or creates more delays on things, right? That needs to be looked at. So it's not so much even about the book, or even you asked about the marketing. I think that's all on tact, actually. There's some Virgo vibes going on with your marketing. So I think someone is really attuned intellectually about what needs to be done. So I think that's all well and good. The only suggestion with that too is make sure you soften it up too. Soften the approach of your marketing, right? Somehow bring some feminine vibes. It might be too straight on. It might be still a little too mechanical. It just needs some soften of the edges a little bit when it comes to the marketing. And so to have more of a lighter approach to people, how they perceive it. That's the only other feedback I'm getting on that. But that male energy that's evolved could be an assistant or someone assisting with something that needs to kind of like be out of the picture moving forward, or reconsidered moving forward. And that's really about it. I feel like everything is gone really well. Let me look about how to audience. No, I think you got your audience down. So you got the audience down. Everything feels good with that. So probably my only advice is when it comes to the logistics of things is just enjoy it. Let your true nature shine through it. Don't overthink it. I think and it all goes well after that. I feel like things will be meeting the expectations of connection and building other relationships from this as well. So yeah, I mean, and I'm a Virgo rising, so I can like analyze, but and one of my private sessions, I go off and like I give them notes of things, and so I don't feel like I would even have to give you notes on things even if we were in a one-on-one session of things. So again, very general in this case, but again, it's more about the people assisting around, not so much how you're presenting it. Just soften the edges a little bit on the presentation, and I think you're good to go. Question from Kristen V. She says, I left nannying and officially started my business. Yes. Awesome. Great. I'm very slow right now. Do you see it picking up for me and being financially better for me soon? I miss you. Oh, yes, of course. I mean, there's always a slope. You don't want to be, let's talk about the spiritual reasons. You don't want to be bombarded right away with something new. You want to take your time to build it. You want to take your time to understand, the nature of how you're producing the work that you do. But also you're trepidatious because you fear to be kind of slow. So you're also having a self-fulfilled prophecy, right? So don't do that. But yes, of course, there's going to be that grind up, the cranking of the gears, right? But also a lot of it, I want you to possess more of that determined energy, right? I want you to see the end goal again, right? Like I predicted the last time I think we spoke about you doing, crimes forensics cleaning, right? And then, of course, I felt crazy saying that to you. And then you're like, I was thinking about that or something. Someone suggested that for you. So that's the end goal. Look at the importance of that and maybe get more information about that realm as you're building and you get more relations, more connections, more information, right? And so, but yes, and don't give yourself crap because things are starting out slow. That happens with everybody. Sometimes it's a bang and then it dips. Sometimes it starts slow and it sustains. My work came with a bang. Once Spirit told me to do it, and I'm like, all right, I'm not resisting it. It banged. It's crazy. And then it just has I'm like, okay, now I have to start doing something new to navigate it, right? So, so that's a normal current, my love, with any type of, as you know, with any type of business. And so, and you'll find your consistent clients. Give yourself at least good 4 months to navigate this. Okay. Well, of course, that's the kind of trepidation during your downtime. That's good too. But once more, plan it out wise. Be strategic with yourself. Set your goals, set your parameters. Don't just wish upon a star. Understand how much you can work with your slow time and how much, and to what time do you say that you can actually pick things up and move forward. Again, even with crime forensics and crime cleaning, like I hate to say this and my heart breaks saying this, but a lot of suicides, a lot of killings happen around the holidays because of loneliness. And so, providing a service for people to clean up, those scenes and having it easy for them is a blessing for them, is a blessing too, to be. So, don't let the holidays think like, oh, it's going to have to wait after the holidays. No, actually holidays could actually be the time they can utilize it the most. Especially just regular services in that sense, So, that's the one thing I feel like if we allow ourselves to open up the perspectives and the possibilities of what can happen for us, they happen for us because we actually seek it out and we align with it, and then it finds us too, But no, you're good. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Do things like that. Totally do things like that. Even do things that people wouldn't maybe want to do, and just put cards out, real estate, those rental things. Start with that. You will, I promise you. I don't even say promise. I don't even use the word promise in my sessions. I'm saying that because I've been, speaking to you and reading you for quite some time. And knew you would get to this point. You're at this point. So understand, we know where you're going for too. And so, yeah. And also everybody understand June, July, and August has been kind of slow in like certain arenas. Movement in personal lives, but slower when it comes to like client-based stuff or people are so busy doing their own individual things. So like services have been taking a decline in a sense in June, July, starting to pick back up in August. So that's just part of the collective current too when it comes to that. But the movement has been very intense with us personally, individually. There's been a lot of movement of directions and changing and shifting and a lot too. So, okay, last but certainly not least, let me just double check PayPal too. Make sure. I love how I have to log back in again. Crazy. Give me a second here, guys. Face ID. I was just like, I don't understand. Like I'm sitting here with the PayPal open, right? And just it logs me out. Go back in again. I knew there was something there. Card pull for Sophia R. And we're going to close these down because I'm just a little headachy right now. There seems to be a one lonely, sad little hater that every video I do now has to do a thumbs down, which I find it hilarious that you're still following me, you're still watching me, and you're still putting a thumbs down. Thank you for that. I think it's hilarical. Sophia. Oh, we got a good card for Sophia. Interesting. I can see how you're going to read these. Let me sit on this because I don't know if this specifically this case on this. Yeah, Sophia, the Lover's card came for you. So, because I'm like, I have to like do a full on read, but I don't have the time to in a card pull to read everything. But if something with the love arena blossoms, becomes better, right? Something in the love arena, I just say that in that sense, right? And I feel like there's gonna be a lot of movement in the love arena. So if you're in a relationship, things will blossom. If you're waiting for someone to be more attentive, you guys become both attentive. If you're single, something grows and manifests, right? So I feel like a resolution in the love arena, or also a connection, like things connecting in that sense. The Six of Swords is all about, that's my move card. You're going to move. So is the Four of Wands for me. But it's also taking a trip overseas. There may be a trip overseas. You might decide to take a vacation or a trip in that nature. I mean, that connects with love, or that love relationship brings you overseas. So there seems to be a huge movement, a lot of movement in the relationship aspect for you, especially when it comes to I'm trying to grasp if this is also meaning a move. I'm not really feeling that. Feels more like a vacation or trip that also brings connection. So I would embrace that. And even it's just going to sound very simple too, but even the relationships that now are just depriving of you, cut them out, because you might be doing some cutting out of, relationships in the sense that just don't serve you, that maybe you're, and if you're not doing it now, you might start finding yourself doing it, soon. And maybe just dumping on you, or maybe people are just, suffocating, or just, dumping their problems on you, or just not providing any type of loyalty to you. So I just feel a whole shift in that, in a positive sense, in a good way, actually. And where this trip is, if you're not knowing about it now, it feels like a big trip. So it could be overseas, or it's just a major trip, or it's just really connected, really fun, and so simple, actually, nothing complex, but I feel like there's a lot of resolution from the past and a lot of, embracing of love and relationships, moving forward. So, I kind of like it. I'm digging it. Did I do Beth card pull? No, I did not. Okay. This card for Beth. Okay. I need to remind people that I'm on a list. Like, I'm doing first come, first serve. So let people understand that part too. Yeah, Beth is next. Eve just came in, but I had a list. But yeah, card full for Beth. Okay. All right. All right, Beth. Again, card pulls are meant to be simple. That's why it's a card pull. I actually pulled more than one, even though it's intended for one when I created the idea of doing a card pull. So it's like one and, hey, use faith. But I actually go a little deeper. But not nearly as deep as I do in my one-on-one personal sessions. I have to be very clear about this. These are simple reads, simple one-question reads. And on my one-on-one sessions, I go deeper. We go lay things out. So, because we have the time to. So I just want to be clear. These do not represent how my full reads are. It's a taste of. But for you, the eight of swords here for you, it's saying that you feel restricted and constrained in a situationship or problem. It's relationship. So there's something you feel trapped in that you're not allowing yourself to expand out of. And you might be contemplating whether or not this relationship doesn't have to be romantic, it could be any type of relationship. It could be also just a collective energy you're in. You're contemplating whether or not you need to maneuver out of it. And the High Priestess card is actually saying that you're intuitive, you already know. High Priestess card doesn't just come for anybody who just has a little bit of intuition. That comes to someone who actually knows intuitively what they should be doing, and maybe are not taking the steps to get them outside those circumstances. So, it feels very restricted to me. It feels like there's someone almost like suffocating you in a sense energetically. And so, yes, you know the decision to make. Your intuition is telling you to maneuver away, to maneuver out, and to change your own circumstances and not really waiting for it to change itself, right? And so that's the position of this. I wish it felt like one specific person, but it feels like it's maybe a couple people in your life that are creating this suffocation. And so I think a lot of it is, especially when I'm asked for clarity on this and I get the 7 of Cups in this, there's people that are just not being completely honest with you. And don't let the fact, because those things that they're not honest about cannot be tangibly proven. Let's go back to your intuition. You already know. You already know. You already know. And I would say, if someone is truly respecting you, loves you, is honest with you, there's no way in hell you'd think that there's any type of, dishonesty going on. You wouldn't have to question them because they're giving you energy. So let the question itself be your answer. Okay. That was for Beth. So if you're going on a trip tomorrow, okay, good. There it is. All right. I think so. It's going to be a trip that's going to feel connected. I think you're going to feel love energy, lovey-dovey energy. So, so enjoy it. So thanks for validating that read. Okay, last but certainly not least is it Mishala? What's the question? Mishala? Is that how am I saying it correctly? Mishala? What is the question? You just put one question. What can you put the question in the chat box for me? Because normally just put it in the comment section in Venmo, and but that's okay. But for Mishala, Eleanor, if you can type the question in the chat box, and Nina, if you can assist in making sure she does, so I can get the question. But yeah, she just put one question. I appreciate it. But for next time, if you do decide, you could just put the question in that box and I read it there. So I'll give a couple seconds to wait on that. And those of you who want to get a question real quick, I'll kind of keep it open until I get this last question, and then we'll close it down. And then I decided I'm going to play my confident affirmation meditation before closing. I think that'd be a nice way to kind of close out. But yes, let's see if we're just waiting on Michelle. Okay, good. I'm glad, because when I was pulling those cards and I was reading it, I'm like, does this make sense to her? Does this make sense? Okay, I actually have Jeannie Cuevas. I just refreshed my Venmo card pull. Somehow came in a little late here. So next, actually, Jeannie Cuevas. But if you can see if yeah, I have to keep refreshing Venmo here. Okay, yeah, it's Mishala. I don't know if it's still Michala. Mishala, if you're in the room, we need your question. But right now we have Jeannie Cuevas. I just had to refresh. Thanks for checking up on that, Nina. Make sure everyone gets their question in. Okay. Okay. I hope I'm saying it's Jeannie, right? I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Okay. Okay. Someone's pulling you away from your passions. And this is for Jeannie Cuevas. Someone's pulling you away from your passions. And I really feel, I even just heard, letting go of a past love. Here's another one of those situations. Or not allowing the love interest of the past, or to continue to fuel your distraction of what you should be doing and participating in the future, or passion. Because I feel like that passion should be working with people or children, working with people or children, in a sense, I feel like you should be doing and working toward. But for some reason, I feel like this person is holding you back from doing so. And I think that once you allow yourself to, like I said for the previous question, focus on making decisions for yourself and moving forward in the way you want to, just regardless of who is on board or not, then things will move forward. And I feel like you'll find a new passion working in a direction with people or children somehow. So that might even be if you're not doing that now, a career change, or formatting what you're doing in that direction. and getting that off the board. And remember, you guys have decades of life left to live. I'm going to say this. So a lot of times you guys just, do something and you realize, I don't know what's ahead of me, what's going on for me in the future. It's like you have decades of life left to live. There's going to be change. And so a lot of times that change is something you don't understand. It's something you do not see. It's something you're not aware of right now. So digest the information. And so I think that you should, again, just put that relationship aside or that energy from people aside that's holding you back from doing the passions that you want to do. And I feel like you'll find some more movement. And I think 2026 is a good year for you to get that in gear. This new passion or this career change or this new, passion coming to life, to light in a sense. But yeah, it feels good though, that when you decide to, because I'm just showing you work with people or children, doing something of that nature. But yeah, I think if you allow yourself to release, and the reason why sometimes like I feel like multiple people doing this, I'm like it could be one relationship. Then I feel like there's like just a lot of people around doing this, or maybe you're giving the consideration too much, of that, so. But I think when you intellectually just remove that and just own your passions, you will. And I just see you doing something with working with people or need and children, something of that nature, and a wonderful new direction there. So, and you'll see in time. Okay. I want to know who's Nina. Let me see. I have people on PayPal wanting to know the chat. The PayPal is okay. I don't know if the mod Nina, are you coming up? I don't have an Eve here. I don't have an Eve here. So yeah, I don't have an Eve. I'm waiting on Mishala Eleanor. I don't have an Eve, but I'll check PayPal and see but I don't have an Eve. A payment from Eve. Nina, do you know if your text is going through to Instagram? Because someone on Instagram wants to PayPal. Okay, Eve, same person. Misha. Okay, person. Got it. Thanks for clarifying. So I'll answer that question in a moment. But Nina, just can you see if your message go to Instagram? Because then you can answer. Someone from Instagram wants the PayPal information. Yeah. So yeah, okay. And I'm on YouTube, so those guys are watching from Instagram on YouTube, so I haven't really figured out a way to see if I can actually get if my mod is actually going through just on YouTube or on Instagram too, so that's something we'll have to see. So perfect. There it is. So you might find a better way to mentor your children and really go full in your passion, full force. I feel a big change with that, love, in a good way. So, okay, Eve asks, can you please speak to the relationship I've just left? If I should be concerned with a smear campaign, and or stalking. Let me see. Yes. Yes. However, their energy. I get a lot of questions like this and a lot of people are making it up in their head. I don't feel like you are. When I say make it up in their head, they're just in fear that might happen. And I'm like, no, they're not like that. I feel like you do have somebody here that wants to retaliate. I do. Death card, Lover's card, obviously it's because the ending of such, and the Justice card. So there's going to be some legal matters involved in such, but that also means I feel like there's the Ace of Swords and the King of Swords. You have quite a bit of good backing to prevent any type of, deformation, degradation, right? Into that nature. So there will be a little bit of a fight here. I really feel that you need to be very clear with your digital footprint. I don't know why I'm saying that. And or his digital footprint. And I feel like you're probably already doing that already. But once you do have that in gear, you know, I feel like whatever legal advisors that you have in the matter that will transpire, you'll be fine. You'll be good. You'll be fine on this. But they want to do a lot more. They want to like slander. They're very vindictive and want to, you know, but I feel like your crew, your team, I would say, versus what they have is so much more significant from what they can actually do. And so just understand you'll have justice on this, but just be clear, save the digital footprints or be good with the digital footprints moving forward. So therefore it wouldn't necessarily turn into something legal, but it has a potential for going in a legal direction. But you win either way. You win. I feel like they're still kind of powerless in a sense. They're like all bark, no bite energy, you know, but you know, sometimes there isn't clean cut certain things. Sometimes the lesson is understand how we do stand up to retaliation. Sometimes part of the lesson of these relationships is to understand that we need to stand up for ourselves and fend for ourselves and not let anyone kind of take the control even when they're with us or without us. So understand this is also part of the lesson. Even though the relationship's over, that's the lesson. Even how it's ending is the lesson too. When you understand this and you stand your ground, right, and you be very cutthroat in your approach to things and you don't tolerate it, you're learning that the completion of that lesson. This won't happen again. But they feel very aggressive and like assertive, but also not that much energy behind it either, you know. So, anywho, either way, it shows that it reads that you will become, you know, it'd be balanced and fair in your perspective, no matter what. Okay. So yeah. All right, I'm going to give 5 more minutes for that question. Otherwise, I'll refund it because I can't wait. We'll see if it comes in. And then we'll, I will, my gift to you is, because I've figured we got to come from the heart, is, you know, closing out with my confident affirmations. I did a little montage and did the music, did the you know, the guidance of, you know, of the affirmations and all that stuff. And I think that'd be a good time now for us to like tune into the heart chakra. And so remember, guys, you know, being, you know, very much into the heart and, you know, telling the brain to think something is wonderful. It's a way to get yourself on board, right? It's a way to get yourself in the position of like, yeah, this is possible for me. It doesn't do all the work, but we got to prep the brain and say, okay, brain, we do believe this is possible. And we do want to possess the energy of such. So this way we can hear our soul better. So I always say these affirmations are used as tools. And I made a lot on my website, and I forgot, you know, I made so much stuff and I just like put on my website. I don't even like advertise. I don't advertise anything. I have hypnosis audios, frequency meditations I've created. I wrote an ebook about Manifestation Master when I was teaching manifestation. Even though I don't talk about that anymore, I evolved from that. I still keep it up there for those who might be in the state of that manifestation phase and how to utilize that. Because even then I was still saying we got to participate and show up and for things to manifest. So, I'm still waiting on that question. If I don't get that question in like a couple minutes, I'm going to move on and close the show out. So let me give my final thoughts. Where's my, I'm trying to be good with my little, my banners so people know when they tune in, what is he doing now? What segment is he on now? So my final thoughts, guys. It's very simple. And let me close down this here. Y'all know what you want. We don't need to practice desire. You need to reaffirm what you want. We have to understand how to become the person we want to be first. And the things that we want is like the spec sheet to the person we're craving to become. And so we work on building our own personal character to get into the modality of the positioning, how we could be the wisdom that we need, the intellect that we need, how we need to express ourselves and being free to express ourselves and understanding how we come from that heart core of ourselves. Then the things that we want become so easy to obtain because we're the person that can attain it. And so, and if we focus there and allow ourselves just to be honest with what we're really telling ourselves, we might be feeling bad that, you know what, I feel bad that I'm in a relationship that I know isn't working. Be honest about it. Say it isn't working. Doesn't mean you have to make a decision right then and there. You say it's not working, and then I don't know if I should continue. At least give yourself the platform to understand what you're honestly feeling. You might decide, hey, maybe I need to pick up the slack, and maybe I'm not working enough in this relationship, and if I did, it'd make it better, or maybe I'm not listening to my partner enough. You know, that honesty will give you the tools of what you actually need to be doing to actually save a relationship or push you out into a better one that you deserve all along. But just start with the honesty. And not because you're honest doesn't mean you have to make a decision right now. Give yourself space to breathe in that honesty. As my lights just went off. So let me just put my lights back on. Give me a second. And so that's important time to really kind of to consider that right now. And so, what I try to do is try to take the cliche statements, the bumper sticker statements, and make sense of them, because we can hear it, like, we don't really know what that really means. And so we just like lose hope in doing it because it sounds cliche. I'm trying to make it rational for you. Coming from the heart just means you're being fucking honest. All right. So be honest with yourself. And so let me check and see if that question came in. If it isn't, I'm going to close out with the affirmation meditation. I don't see it, so I'm not waiting. If I get it, I'll refund it. Okay. So whoever was wanting to that question in, I just can't wait any longer for that, unfortunately. It's late toward the end of the show, so I'm going to close out. If I get your transaction, I will refund it. If you're making the transaction, don't do it because we're closing the show. We'll do it next week, okay? So before I close out, I just want to remind you guys, too, if you want to book a one-on-one session with me, ScottCruzPM.com. Again, my private one-on-ones, more in depth. We get deeper on such. And so I do offer life readings. We can go into past life regressions, trauma resolutions, as well as your current relationships, future, past relationships, jobs, career, all that wonderful stuff. Health, I'm a health medium as well. We get the information that you need for that in that context. Also, I do mediumship sessions, which is channeling those who've crossed over, okay? If you want to talk to someone in spirit. And also, I have a session called Intuition Builder, which helps you to develop your own psychic awareness and your own mediumistic abilities as well. So let me just see really quickly. It's done via PayPal for Tedrick 30. What, it's done via PayPal or Venmo things? Okay, okay, yeah, I'm not saying anything new, so we're closing it up. So whatever transaction I get after the show, who is late, I will refund it. And I'm just double checking before I close on. Okay, nothing new here. Okay, readings are closed. Thank you. All right. Tedrick, good to see you, buddy. Anyways, I knew I saw Tedrick. Good to see you, buddy. Shoot me a text if you have a question. It's good to see you, Tedrick. Don't worry about the question. Shoot me a text. Be good to catch up, see what you guys have been doing anyways. But text me. You have my number. I'm going to see how you guys have been doing. You and the other half over there. All right, guys. Good to see you. Check me out again next Thursday, and I'll be streaming to all 3 platforms now. So now got it on Instagram, now got it on Facebook as well. But YouTube is my home. So if you want more direct connection with me, YouTube is the place to go. And check out Leading Out Loud. Their episode. If you missed the episode last night, it's there as well. If not, catch me next Thursday or book a session, ScottCruzPM.com. And I'm going to close out with these confident affirmations. So sit back and unwind. Give yourself a little bit of a spiritual hug here. Good night, guys.
I choose to be confident in all my successes. I am confident that everything in life is helping me grow into the person I want to become. I am able to achieve great results in all circumstances in my life, because each experience is a doorway to success. I define the meaning to every experience in my life. I define the outcome to every experience in my life. I define how to feel in every circumstance in my life. I choose to feel empowered in any challenging situation. I'm empowered. I choose to turn any challenging situation into a blessing. I am blessed. I choose to believe in my power and my own abilities. I am powerful and I'm able. My perspective of self is clear. My perspective of self is strong and inspired. My perspective does not sway to the perspective of another. I am great at communicating my perspective. I am great at connecting with others with different perspectives. For I am strong in my perspective. And I am strong in my foundation. I'm always growing my perspective, and I'm always growing my foundation, all to accommodate my abundance. I choose to be confident in myself and in my personal growth. The weakness of my past has determined the strength of my present and the strength of my future. I am strong. I am confident. I choose to be confident in all my successes. I am confident that everything in life is helping me grow into the person I want to become. I am able to achieve great results in all circumstances in my life, because each experience is a doorway to success. I define the meaning to every experience in my life. I define the outcome to every experience in my life. I define how to feel in every circumstance in my life. I choose to feel empowered in any challenging situation. I'm empowered. I choose to turn any challenging situation into a blessing. I am blessed. I choose to believe in my power and my own abilities. I am powerful and I'm able. My perspective of self is clear. My perspective of self is strong and inspired. My perspective does not sway to the perspective of another. I am great at communicating my perspective. I am great at connecting with others with different perspectives. For I am strong in my perspective. And I am strong in my foundation. I'm always growing my perspective, and I'm always growing my foundation, all to accommodate my abundance. I choose to be confident in myself and in my personal growth. The weakness of my past has determined the strength of my present and the strength of my future. I am strong.
Scott Cruz is popularly known for his life-changing one-on-one readings to also guide in your soul ascension journey. With life readings, get insight into your relationships, career, health, trauma healings, past life regressions, and more. Want to connect with a loved one who's transitioned? Scott's mediumship session can be the gateway to you and your loved ones in spirit, bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual realm. If you want to enhance your own psychic ability, Scott's Intuition Builder session can help expand your psychic and mediumship abilities. So sign on to scottcruzpm.com to book your own personal session today.